Hi chums, right, this is the last bag of Cara. These were kind of an afterthought and I just threw them in here. There's about 7 or 8 potatoes went in here and you can see there's still some stalks on these ones. I'm just trying to see where the camera is there. I'll empty this out and then see where my hands are, but there you see that's where, get the camera up. Cara 2. These were leftovers from last year, so we'll see what happens. I had to get some of my friends were here last night and I got 2 of them to lift this into the wheelbarrow for me because it's really bloody heavy. But I mean, what are friends for if you can't use them? So that's what I did. I used my friends. There's a difference between using your friends and abusing your friends. So I used mine. I'm trying to keep this all in the barrel here, you know. I'm going to have to throw some of this onto the ground as I do it because the bar is full. Right, we'll get this boy out. It's not as heavy as I thought it was. When I looked at it last night, I thought I'd never lift that. But it's actually dried out fairly well, so it's not just as bad as I thought. Now, there's the camera. I'm going to do a bit of moving about here, folks, just to see what the best position is. That doesn't look too bad there. I'll bring it forward a wee bit. Oh dear, dear. Right. Gary Entropy would never be seen as amateurish as this. He would have everything set up beautifully and 15 mics and all the rest of it set up, but right, we'll go with that there. We'll go with that. That seems fairly reasonable. Right. Well, there's a start. I'm just trying to see where my collector thing is. Yeah, so as I say, I got my friends. I got my friends to help me last night to load some of these potatoes up, or load this bag in because it's too big for me to lift myself. But as I say, it wasn't just as bad then when I got to it, you know. So somebody's mentioned, a couple of people actually mentioned on the comments about, you seem to eat an awful lot of potatoes. What do you do with them all? Well, we do eat them all, but potatoes are a staple diet here. They're staple food in Ireland for my generation anyway. Not so much for younger people who have been used to things like pizza and sort of Indian food and Chinese. Well, Chinese was there always, but I never really ate it. I didn't have a Chinese until I was about 20, and I didn't eat Indian food until I was about nearly 30, over 30 actually. I didn't have a pizza until I was 30. So you can see that it wasn't a case where I was, what do you call it, so poor I couldn't afford it. I just had no interest really, you know. But then I got to enjoy it. I love Chinese food, but I really love Indian food. Indian food and potatoes is a match made in heaven. So if you ever have an Indian food, boil a couple of potatoes and have the potatoes with it. The potatoes give a sort of a blandness that complements the spices really well. It just takes the edge off it a wee bit for people like me who don't like their food too hot, you know. And it was just by accident one time, we had some potatoes left over from a dinner and I had we'd ordered a Chinese, and then a couple of friends arrived as the Indian arrived. So we said, we'd like to stay for some Indian, and they went, oh no, we'll not eat your dinner. I said, no, you're not going to eat our dinner, we'll just heat up some potatoes that we have left over. So I stuck these potatoes in the microwave, and we all had some potatoes with our Indian food. It was really lovely. We all loved it. So that worked well. I'm watching here for nettle roots. I don't want to put nettle roots into my beds, because once those get in, you are in serious trouble. I'm trying to get them back out again. So as I say, potatoes are a staple food here, and people of my generation would eat a lot of potatoes. And traditionally, when I was young, your dinner was potato, meat, and at least one vegetable, and just good healthy eating. And of course, see, I was reared by a mother who went through a war. So people who went through the Second World War tend to be very frugal and economical. They were also very good cooks, because during the war they had to learn to cook with really poor ingredients and rationed ingredients, so they learnt lots of tricks to make food go further. So that's the way I was reared. So I would say there's a lot of wartime cooking reflected in my cooking by the way I go about things, you know, and the way I do things. But I wouldn't be as frugal as my mother now, that would be for sure. But saying that there, it's just, people saying, how do you eat so many potatoes? Well, we do, but strangely, a few months ago we had an Indian meal for our dinner one night, and I said to Rosie, what would you like tomorrow night? And she said, I'd like a Chinese. And I went, what, rice 2 nights in a row? And she said, Brendan, we eat potatoes 6 nights in a row. And I was like, right enough, yeah. It just seems strange to have rice 2 nights in a row, but you wouldn't even think about having potatoes 6 or 7 nights in a row. Actually, well, when I was a child, we had potatoes with every meal, virtually. So that was just the way it was, and the potatoes were there. It's just the same as for some people, there's rice is their staple with every meal. We were reared on potatoes with every meal. So we do eat all the potatoes, and none get wasted, and they're all put to good use. So that's that. So these potatoes here are for tomorrow. My wife is making a chicken casserole, which will be beautiful. My wife's one of these natural cooks who doesn't really need to measure things. She looks at a recipe, she does it exactly by the book the first time she uses it, and then she changes it to what she likes or what we like. And I'll say to her, Rosemary, that's really beautiful, you make that again. And she goes, I can't. And I go, why not? Well, I didn't write anything down, I just put bits of this and that in. That's really natural cooks that we all hate. Well, that's what I'm living with. So, what do you call it? She makes beautiful casserole. She's doing a casserole for tomorrow, and that gives me a break too. I do all the cooking. This is not me being a big fella, but I'm retired now for medical reasons. My wife's still working, so I think it's pretty unreasonable for me to expect my wife to come home and cook a dinner for me, especially when I'm able to do it. So I do all the cooking during the week, and then at the weekends my wife will maybe do Sunday dinner or something, you know. But I really love cooking, so it works well. And I must say that in the number of years that I've been doing this, now look at that. That's slug damage. Whoa, that's slug damage there. You can see where it's been bitten into. In the number of years that I've been doing the cooking, Rosemary hasn't complained about it once, so it must be all right. So that's basically that wee question answer. I've got that a few times from people, but how do you eat so many potatoes? Well, when you've been reared on them, you just get used to them. Oh, there's a renegade. This boy tried to escape there, so that's that. But this is going pretty well, actually. Right, we'll start moving down here a bit now. Nothing exciting or startling to have to report. Oh, there was a bit of excitement last night. I got into my car and a brake light, a side light warning light came on, so I had to replace the side light today. So that was my excitement today, was replacing the side light in my car before the police got me and fined me £60, about $100, and gave me 3 penalty points on my license for not having a light working, you know. They're very strict here, I can tell you. You don't get off for too much. But so that was the light sorted out and everything. Everybody's happy again. So that was my excitement today, this morning. I had a wee bit of a lie in this morning because I've been kind of working hard, well, hard for me, this last couple of weeks, and getting up early and stuff. So I had a lie in this morning until 8:30. And I woke up and looked at my clock and it was 11:15. So I got 3 more hours than I thought I had, which was very nice actually. I enjoyed it, so I'm in good form now. And I was over with the boys last night and that was good fun. So we're happy with that. I ordered up some more stuff last night for the... oh yes, I've got something to tell you. I ordered up some stuff last night for the extractor. Bits and pieces I needed extra from what I had ordered. When I did a plan for it and did my pipe layout, I discovered I needed a couple of other pieces that I didn't have, and I ordered them up, and I forgot to order 1 pipe, and I'm stupid because I got free postage from England on the stuff, and I forgot to put this one thing into the order, and now I'm going to pay to get it over, you know. But what can you do? What can you do? So that happens. But I got a letter this morning from Barclaycard. Barclaycard is a credit card company, and they sent me a letter saying, "Dear Mr. Mac, we are delighted to tell you that your credit limit has been increased." Well, that does not concern me in the least because I don't use the card except for the odd time that I might need to pay for a flight or something, you know, and I've no cash, or I need to use a credit card. So that's basically it. So there's not very much activity on it, and they keep sending me these letters saying we have increased your credit limit and all the rest of it to try and encourage me to spend, but it's not working for them. But also came a letter saying please contact our fraud department. But I was a bit suspicious about it, so I phoned up Barclaycard and they assured me, yes, this is our fraud department. And they put me through to a guy who asked me some questions about the card. And questions like, was your card declined 4 times on Friday the 4th of January by John Lewis in England? Was your card declined 3 times by IKEA? Was your card declined 4 times by DIY, B&Q, DIY.com? I read about half a dozen of these transactions that I had tried to make but didn't get through with. And I said, no, definitely not. I didn't do any of those transactions, you know, because they haven't, this is the first time the card's been out of the wallet in a couple of years probably, you know. And then he said to me, I have one final question to ask. And I said, what's that? He said, did you phone here on Friday the 4th of January at 10:38 p.m? I went, no. I said, are you sure? And I said, I'm definitely sure. I said, I'm phoning you now, but I'm definitely did not phone you on the 4th of January. He said, right. There has been fraudulent activity on your card, and someone phoned up to try to change the details on it, on the account details, to get using the card. Now, I'm very careful. I burn all my statements and stuff, but somebody somewhere has got my credit card details and enough information to almost get through the system, because they were confident enough to phone up Barclaycard to explain that they weren't getting the transaction sorted out. So that was very interesting to me, you know. I'm just going to change this camera a wee bit because I'm going to show you the potatoes here. Whoops, wrong way. So he's going to send me a new card out, which is good. But there we go, folks. Just be careful with your credit cards. You don't know who's doing what, you know. Isn't that's pretty good? That's pretty good for potatoes that I was going to basically throw in the bin because I had no use for them. So those are all Caras. Those are perfectly fine, and I'll be using those over the next few days, you know. But what do you call it? So just be careful with your credit cards, folks. And I must say, Barclaycard have the best security system I've ever seen. I was over in England last year, or year before, and I made some transactions with my card in the hotel and that. And I got a phone call when I came home asking me to verify the transactions, that it was me made them. And I said, I did, yeah. So I phoned them up and I said, what would have happened if I had said, no, I didn't make any of those transactions? They went, well, we would have given you your money back and then pursued the person who we think might have tried to get the money, you know. So they are pretty good. So there you are, folks, that's it. Enough talking from me. I have other things to do, and that's the end of the Cara reveals. So I'll upload this wee film now and get on to some other things. I want to get some more work done in the garage with the cyclone thing. So thanks very much for watching. All the best now. Bye bye.